get a countdown? Oh, and we are live. Parker Ray, can you
Oh
hear us?
man,
We're back in the game, bro. We're back
loud
in the
and
game.
clear, loud and clear.
Welcome, guys. Me and Parker were actually thinking about not to do a stream today because the market's so shit and everybody would normally just flip-flop and not come on. But here we are. What was the price last time we did this stream? I think it was 113 or something.
Ooh,
on Bitcoin.
Had to be over 110.
Yeah. So basically what we said last week, as we can see on screen here, Isaac, if you can show my screen, that would be great. We were at basically $109,000 or $110,000, and now we're at 102. We actually came below 100K. So there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of panic, I guess you would say, Parker. I don't know how your DMs are, but my DMs are pretty full with people saying...
Oh, they're popping right now.
They're popping, and they're popping for the bad way. But I do think a lot of people, if you do decide to buy, it might be one of that risk/reward that you play out. So we're going to talk about 3 scenarios that could happen, and I want to talk about as well, are there too many coins for this bull run, Parker? You know, we've seen stuff like Pump.Fund 2021 where you could pretty much buy anything, and now it's almost becoming like if you're buying a low cap gem, it's like, is it going to fucking survive? Okay, so let's talk about that, and let's talk about a post that we talked about with Bobby. 90 to 94K as well he was calling for. He's getting close.
Yep.
And he's actually short.
Yep, 93. We're getting close. We're not even that far away, to be honest.
We're not even that far away. But the caveat with that is if basically what we're in our school group, I think we mentioned this last week, Bobby was saying pretty much 90 to 94K. He's been adamant of this since 125 or 126, right? And when that happens, he's pretty much shorted the market. He thinks it's going to be 90 to 94, then we get that kind of reversal, bear trap, whatever you call it, to the 140, 150 again. So that's why I'm a little bit confident, because if that happens, fine. But what if it doesn't happen? What if it's 90 and then 89, 87, Ooh. 86, 85, and we start to go all the way back down and it's bear market and, you know, we round trip again? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so I mean, those 6-month liquidation points Bobby was talking about at the 93, 94, they are very strong. At the 1-year liquidation levels, I do see quite a bit at 83. So in your worst case scenario, I do think that that is a possibility. But I think 83 is where that hard stop really kicks in, where if we do hit that, it's just V reverse to the upside.
Okay. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. But you're either in it or you're not in it. Like we always said, like we said last week, you know, it'd be nice to kind of buy back in. But I don't know about you, but I'm just way too emotional for that. Bobby's actually, like I said, been shorting the market. And yeah, I didn't think it was a good idea at the time, but, you know, so far, so good for him. You know, I don't know how much he's up or how much leverage he's using, but it's been working well. We'll probably try and get him on next week. I think it'll be interesting to try and get Bobby on here to kind of see what's happening. But let's talk about, you know, the 4-year cycle. The big question on everybody's list, is the 4-year cycle finished? And if it is, what happens? I think I've said before as well, and we kind of said last week, like, we could get the potential where it's just slowly going up and then little dips along the way with all the institutions, the big players, etc. That could be a possibility. You know, I've heard that quite a lot. But I think we said last week as well, how do you make money off that?
We said that
right?
last cycle as well.
How do you make money off that, right? Because the problem with that is it's like you don't make money until you sell. So this 4-year cycle, you know, kind of thing, it kind of becomes invalid, right? Because it's like, if we were to play this cycle as we would expect, 150K, take profits, let's just say, we buy back in at whatever price, we make that split and we buy back in much lower. If it does continuously go up, it's going to be harder to actually make any money and realize money, right? Because you can't get back in until you get back in. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility, mainly for things like Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is going to continue to go up into that right. And that is a dangerous game when it comes to selling. I'm scared to sell my Bitcoin and then think I'm going to buy back later and not get that opportunity. When it comes to altcoins, however, that's something that is very, very good to be buying these lows and then selling them later on when you 2 to 3x, even just rotate them into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is something that if I need money, I'm going to borrow against it. I'm not going to sell it.
Yeah, I'm just reading the chat today. I'm just super interested getting some early chart.
You see all the minus 60, minus 70% chats?
I sold all my crypto today, minus 59%. AMC 9724. Why? Why? I sold my crypto at minus 70%. I'm going to buy again when Bitcoin hits 150K.
That's just a joke. Yeah,
have I took too much caffeine, Nick Ebbs, but have you went off the rails? What do you think about SUA right now? There's a lot of people interested in SUA, man. Let's talk about some altcoins. Okay. You are the Sui king. Hopefully one day you will have a teardrop underneath your eye with the Sui logo. If Sui hits $10, let's talk about Sui. Let's talk about, you know, positioning for maybe buying some of these altcoins, but potentially not if we get the 90 to 94K. You've been in Sui for how long?
Oh man. I mean, year and a half now, probably, if not longer.
Okay. And what do you think about somebody looking at Sui right now? Bearing in mind that
If
Bobby's
you're,
been calling the 90 to 94K, like that's something you have to be aware. Like how far could Sui go
yeah.
down if that happens, right?
I mean, the market's going to follow Bitcoin, obviously. So if Bitcoin's going lower, Sui has the opportunity to go lower as well. Anything under $2 in Sui, I'd say, is a decent buy. But also at the same time, I remember a year ago when Sui was like first breaking $1.75, feeling like, oh my God, like I'm getting so excited for that around probably about September last year. I remember being so excited we broke above $1.75. So we're still above that point a year ago, but it's just showing you that we have the opportunity to buy back in at that point. And then recently we've been at $4 to $5. So it's showing you, Sui's showing you its price action of where it can go. So you can really gauge that past price action and make some good decisions.
Okay.
I'd be looking to load up here at the $2 level. If we go any lower, if we get $2.50, big bags.
That's where your focus is going to be. Like if we do get the 90, 94K, where's if you had money, which you do, where would your money go
If you had
altcoin
money.
wise? Where would your money go altcoin wise?
Altcoin wise, I'm looking Sui, like I'm looking still large caps, but my large cap alts are like Sui, Avalanche, Solana. You know, I'm not really feeling the FOMO for Solana right now. I don't know why. I've had big bags of Solana for a long time, but it's lost a lot of its excitement for me, at least.
No
Not sure if you feel
no
the same.
QNT?
Oh no, hell no. Stablecoin. That's where I rotate my profits.
Yeah, QNT's been difficult. I think we were speaking around this one for 2020 and 2021. It's been not one of my worst performers. Illumium's been one of my worst ones. Have you checked your portfolio recently, Parker?
Individual wallets, but I haven't checked like the aggregated loss.
So now my portfolio has been on. This is the first time it's been under $1 million in I don't know how long. So we're finally like the walk's been different. Like coming to here, going to the gym, the walk has been told like the confidence has lost. Seeing a zero come off the portfolio. Gala Games has actually became one of my worst performers, which looks like it's getting wrecked right now. Didn't even know that. Illumium was my worst performers for so long, but now Gala is apparently my
worse than Illumium.
Performers. Apparently, current market cap. Yeah, I'm a minus 11 grand.
Is that just 24 hours? Is that what? No.
No, this is total. I'm just interested to see the Gala chart. Oh, God. I mean, it's up.
I used to have that too. I don't miss that one.
Yeah. Gaming coins this cycle have been terrible. I don't think we've, like, imagine the bull market is over, right? We've not had a gaming run. So, like, there's hope because we've not had specific runs. And this is going to go back to my first question I wrote on this phone is, are there too many coins this bull run? Are there too many coins this bull run?
Yes, 100%.
Do you know how many coins there are this bull run till the previous bull run, till the previous 2017 bull run? Do you know?
No, I'm not sure, but I can imagine it's drastically different.
Millions.
Millions more?
Millions more. And that becomes obviously pumped up fund, like, you know, just, yeah, pumped up fund has really been the main culprit. And that can work. There has been gems, diamonds in the haystack, but there's also been a lot of guys, normal wagey, and I've got one comment I looked up before from a kind of chat that I put up where I want to touch on. I don't know if he was joking, but it's kind of sad. There's been a lot of guys that have lost everything from one meme coin pumped up fund launch, which is kind of sad because their whole bull run has completely went to shit because of, you know, too many altcoins. One of those millions of altcoins launched, which is very sad.
In chat, they're saying there was a slight gaming run from October 23 till March 24. And then we look and we see that Pump.Fun was offered beginning of 24. And that's when the gaming run ended. So it's interesting to see. I think there's just been a flood of all these different alts, whereas 2021, you didn't have as much stuff. So it was more likely that the things that you did invest in were going to just move super, super hard, get those crazy cycles. Same with NFTs. I think NFTs were really cool until like meme coins came around, and then it's taken all that liquidity, all that money.
Yeah, what's interesting as well, if I pull up this on screen, Isaac, if you can lock in, please. What we have on screen is each single, halving, right? And this is what you should be promised, right? What's interesting about this run, I don't know, Parker, if you're familiar with this, which you should be, right? Every single cycle, we've pretty much came up to the reds, which is like seriously sell maximum bubble territory, right? If you look at this cycle, we haven't came close to anything, bar really the hodl. Like, we've not even came close to is the bubble. So, like, again, this is where I still have hope for the 4-year cycle, but we're now on November 6th. November 5 for you, I guess. Like, December, January is usually the peak. Like, there's no time left. Bobby's 90 to 94K would have to be so fast for us to get the 150K. I don't think there's time left, do you? And this is where I think, like, the 2026 thing, Q1, Q2 is kind of like now what we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we've been pushing this bull market back months and months at a time for the last year, a little bit. I mean, it could be a stagnated, extended bull market. It really could, and it could go into early to mid 2026. But also, if we're in this continued downtrend, I'm not going to save my breath and wait. I'm going to try to get out of positions that are already losers. And we already have a nice side stack of cash, stable coins waiting for the next entry. So prepared for whatever comes next, to be honest.
Well, I always see this same guy in the chat, Nico6821. He always says,
I saw that too.
Bro, he says the same thing. Fuck you, bro. It's not a Rolex. It's a fucking AP. So this guy, Nico6821, bro, get out your mom's basement. I see the same guy every single time talking about a Rolex. No, it's all love, bro. Fuck this guy. He's always mad about the gym clothes and the Rolex. He's probably a good sport.
Read Nick's chat there, the recent one.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, bro. Nick's all love. We're only joking, but it's not a Rolex, bro. Chill the fuck down. It's a diamond AP. What are your thoughts on hodling, exiting bags and not buying any more dips from here out and round tripping tops in, but stack cash from now until the bottom and load up there? I mean, yeah. What do you think?
I mean, he said until the bottom's in, not buying dips. How do you know which dip's the dip and which dip's the bottom?
Thank you, Nikos. It's all love. Maybe I can buy another Rolex
he
with that
locked in,
$199. GG, bro. Sorry, go on, bro.
Where was I at? I mean, yeah, how do you know which one's the dip and which one's the bottom? When things are extremely undervalued, I'm going to be buying, even if that means long term I have to wait 3 or 4 months for them to pump. I mean, people said the same thing in April, and I bought Ethereum. That Ethereum is 3x since April, and I sold that a month or two ago, and that's just sitting as cash waiting for the next time to rinse repeat.
Yeah, so again, it's a difficult thing, right? If you're hodling, right, you're going to have to experience some pain. So like I said, my portfolio is down like 300, 400K since like the 125, 126K levels. That fucking sucks. I'm not going to lie. Like, there's just a different amount of confidence. And then so many people messages me on Telegram, and even like my friends from the UK is like, hey, is this over? I had the same guy that I always talk about, Dean. Like, he's starting to panic because his kind of goal in cryptocurrency was to make so much money to come from the UK and live in Thailand. But now he's looking at his portfolio and he's like, fuck, I don't even think I've got enough for a plane ticket anymore. Not actually, but you get the point. It's getting low, right? Because he's down like 60, 50, 40% in the last month or so. He's in a lot of like, HBAR coins, etc., like that ISO's 2022 or 2022, sorry. But yeah, he's looking at his portfolio, and, I'm looking at my portfolio, and you're probably looking at your portfolio at home, and it's just like, fuck, what do we do? So the problem with hodling right now is it's like, you kind of have to at this point, because, you've already lost 20 grand pretty much off the table with Bitcoin. You've already lost, 50, 60, 70% on these other altcoins. So you could get out and try and rebuy back in. But again, guys like Bobby, et cetera, not that I'm calling him a genius, but, he's pretty much called it, and he's shorted on the way down, which is way too bad for me and way too risky for me. They've already made that worth it. So it's like, do you sell now? You could, but is it worth the risk/reward? It's worth the risk/reward if we do go in bear market territory. It's absolutely fucking worth it. But if you still believe in this bull run, it's getting to the point where, you're 10K levels away from Bitcoin with Bobby. So is it really worth it? I don't know. It just depends on how big your portfolio is and if you want to try and rebuy back some of these coins. What I would say is worth it is like if you're holding smaller cap, tiny little gaming coins, AI coins, whatever. If you've got shit there, it's maybe time to rebalance some of those, because like I said at the start of this video, some of those coins probably won't come back. They just probably won't, because there's too many of these coins right now, and there's not enough people to like just get that supply and demand kind of thing going like we had in 2017 and 2021, because everything in 2021 went pretty much everything. Okay,
Yeah.
everything went in 2021.
If there's stuff you've lost conviction in, you need to dump those. But if it's stuff you still believe in that's just in pain right now, it's nearing these bottoms, I wouldn't be dumping these out. Like Sui, I think, hard bottom here on Sui for this dip, even if Bitcoin keeps going down, it's like a dollar, like I was saying, like $1.60, $1.50, between that $1.55, $1.70 range, that's going to be giant accumulation zone. So it's like, I'm looking to buy at those prices. I'm not going to sell at the absolute best time to buy. So but if it's something you don't believe in, if you've lost conviction in something, then definitely dump those. That way you're not just experiencing all this emotional pain on a piece of trash that you're just married to.
Yeah. Let's answer some of the questions I put up on the YouTube community post, and then if anybody has any in chat, then we'll go back to kind of what we were trying to do. So Parker, I want to chuck these to you, and I want to chuck them back home. But again, the best kind of comment I've seen is talking about this 4-year cycle being broken, right? So Rockstar 777, is this 4-year cycle broken? Can that be a good thing? Why would institutions subscribe to some 4-year thing rather than Litcoin trend upward? And that's kind of what we said at the start, right? Is if the 4-year cycle is open, especially with Bitcoin, etc., do we just get that continuous push up with little dips along the way? And that makes it very hard for like people like us to get in and get out. You know what I mean? Because you only make money when you get out. And then it's like, okay, if you want to come back into cryptocurrency, which you probably do, because nothing in the real world can really keep up with inflation, bar for maybe real estate, starting a business, etc.
Yeah.
Do you buy the S&P 500? Maybe you do, but like we all chose cryptocurrency for a reason, right? But we chose to play this game. Sure, have that stuff on the side, but it's like that becomes a problem when the 4-year cycle is invalid, because if you look back, touch on wood, it's been an easier game if you've been in the cycle, not like us that lost everything in 2021. So what do you think about that? Do you, like, gun to your head, Parker, is a 4-year cycle broken?
With Bitcoin, I'd say Bitcoin do whatever it wants, but I would say that it can be broken with Bitcoin. It'll follow liquidity, it'll follow money printing. It will still have the same financial cycles, but I don't think it has to be to the extent that we go back to like 25K Bitcoin just because we go down. Like if we crash down to like 83, 84, I've said I think that could be the absolute bottom there for this big dip, and that would be fine with me. That would be fine with me. 83K, I'm buying as much Bitcoin as I can.
Interesting.
I mean, the volatility, yeah, it sucks, guys, but you don't always have to buy the absolute top of Bitcoin to be excited about Bitcoin. And that volatility, the downside, gives you those good entries. Like, you should not be more excited at 125K Bitcoin than you are at 83. If you get 83 again, that's such a great buy. You got to just reframe your thinking. And that's why some people lose, because they just think the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes back to 2021, right? You have the hordes, although we fucked it up, at least I fucked it up, completely effed it up. But basically, you just get hordes of people. I remember, with like my guy Samir that was teaching me, kind of crypto and like buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, because I had all this money from e-commerce back in the day, and I would teach him dropshipping, etc. And we just like basically how I seen the cycle back then, and I seen it happen in real time. Like we got in 2020 August, September when Bitcoin was like 17, 18K. Didn't buy in COVID time; it would have been the best time, but it wouldn't have mattered anyways because we lost all the money. But you would just see different kinds of people start to come in, right? You would start to see guys in business that were maybe just looking for, a kind of hedge against inflation with just like Bitcoin, Ethereum that would astronomically beat any returns back then. And then you would see like maybe guys at the gym slowly start to get in, the smarter ones, right? And then you would see maybe like other sort of like retail workers get in, and the more Jeffries, your mums, your dad, you would just slowly see, and then eventually the Uber drivers, the hairdressers, the taxi drivers. You just seen slowly amounts of people come in. But again, that was at 60, 65, 69K, so there was no money left. And then we seen the same thing again, right? Everybody was excited at 120 to 126K, but now they're fucking eating shit. Now they're looking at their portfolio and think, fuck, where's it gone? So it's just slowly becoming the same thing, and they'll never learn. So, and we see that with altcoins as well.
Chat's low-key locking in right now. Chat's saying that they're only buying like top 100, top 200 by market cap. I think that's really solid. You're buying things that are more likely to win for sure. Let's see, there's a couple more. We have bear market prices. This is where millions are made. That's exactly what I was saying in April when everyone was freaking out, selling, it's over. I was saying, hey, I'm just going to load up on even stuff like ETH at $1,400. And then it ran to almost 5K. Just tripled my money in like 4 or 5 months. And so I really like that comment where Joe's talking about just be excited for these opportunities on alts, especially.
Okay, last question on this one because there's just way too many. How do I tell the wife we lost the house? Now, I don't know if you're joking, but how do you tell the wife? Well, if she lives there, she's probably going to wake up and be like, hey, where are we going? Why is our bags outside? I think he's joking. We're officially in the bull market and downhill from here, question mark. Is there any hope for everything to rocket once the shutdown is... But I mean, it's the same question all the time, right? Number one, again, we don't know for certainty. What we can do is best prepare ourselves, right? And that is either, you know, you have cash on the side, either you're in, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, some solid blue chips as well. That's really all you can do. And then you maybe have 20, 30%, and you're kind of more like riskier stuff. But if you're just way too down the line in riskiness, you're just going to bleed. And you probably are bleeding. Like some of these coins, some of these meme coins are probably down 70 to 90%, you know, in the last month or so. Yeah, what do you do at that point? There's nothing you can do. So you just have to be best prepared, and you have to analyze your own current self, because my situation is different than your situation. Your situation there is different than somebody else's situation. So, you know, just stick to the plan. If you have cash, maybe you buy, maybe you don't. Maybe you wait till Bobby's 90 to 94K levels, okay? But there's nothing else you can really do. If you actually did lose the house, don't know what the fuck you were doing, but, you know, maybe it's time to, you know, downsize, to be honest. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, thoughts about the house. Yeah, I don't know. No comment on that.
Okay.
Wife changing money, but not in the way that you thought.
Yeah, maybe a lower grade. Anyways, I wanted to touch on this. I said I would give you this one, Parker, right? Your thoughts here on BTC going to 84K, because this is very important before he answers this, right? Because this completely determines your prices of altcoins, right? 90 to 94K Bitcoin, okay, altcoins are going to be drastically way lower than today, but 84K, they're going to be way worse. So why is $84,000 Parker rate a possibility?
That's just where the 1 year liquidations are. Whereas Bobby was looking on the 6-month time frame at that 94-ish K, the 83, 84K, that's just the 1 year. Giant. It doesn't mean we have to be there for more than even a wick that happens in, let's say, like 2 minutes, and then we're back, like a flash crash candle. But it's a lot of liquidations down at that zone that the market makers love to hunt those down. That's how they make money. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. That would be somewhere where I consider a hard bottom, where all the long leverage gets taken out, and then we get the chance to have a spot-driven rally to the upside of people buying that dip. And we'll see. And that may change if people start aggressively shorting the market because despair is just getting so strong. Everyone's saying it's over. They're selling. They're shorting. All that interest to the upside might actually drive price back up before we get there. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, interesting points here. Bitcoin will act more like the S&P correlations, but continue to grow up. So again, that's what really the kind of end game for Bitcoin was to be. Something where you can park your wealth, slowly go up. You know, I think the S&P people say is 7 to 12% per year, with adjusted for inflation, whatever. It's a nice way to park your money, but again, the problem with the S&P for, like, you know, not, you know, normal guys, right? They can't make any money off $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $10,000, right? If you're young, absolutely great. But like the thing with Bitcoin is you still have, you know, astronomical returns compared to that. I mean, I think this cycle alone, since $16,000 is up 550 to 600%. Depends where you look at it, right? If we just look at it right now on screen, current prices, even with the big dip, yeah, you're exactly 530, 40%. So like there's astronomical returns still in Bitcoin, but slowly but surely, like that guy just said, it is going to be a 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50% per year, which is still fucking amazing. Right? Don't get me wrong. That is absolutely amazing. We can still be a smallish fish and still make a decent amount of money. But again, this is why you have altcoins as well. Again, the problem with altcoins outside of the top 100, 200 is in times like this, you will eat shit. Like you will have to go through some pain, and some of these altcoins, they might not come back. Again, we said in the last stream, Luna was a good coin until it wasn't. You know, many other coins were good coins until it wasn't, because some of these coins, unlike the S&P, will go to zero. And that's what's so important. If you're way too heavy in these coins, it was good for Luna in 2021 peak, but by 2022, 2023, everything was gone. The S&P and Bitcoin are still going to be there. So that's what I would say.
I pulled up Bitcoin's chart here, Jake, and I just think it's a little interesting. Wanted to share, talking about that 83K mark. Bitcoin twice on the way up has retraced 30%.
Bro, why don't you share your screen? Why don't you share your screen? I can.
I don't think I can in this. Can I?
You can, sure.
Oh, let's see. One
Isaac,
second, boys.
Fill up Parker's face just for a full screen. He has something interesting to say.
Gotta make sure I'm on the right thing.
There you go.
Do we have that?
I mean,
is that sharing?
Maybe. There you go.
So it's just interesting. I don't see it on. There we go. So it's interesting that back in March of 2024, Bitcoin was up around the 70,000 mark. We retraced 30% on the lowest wick, just looking down to 50K, right? This happened. We have later, February 2025, peaking out around that 106 mark right here. And just, I did this really fast, copy, paste, 30% to the bottom of this wick, down to 75K, where people were buying Bitcoin, buying ETH at 1,400 back then. So I think it's curious that right now you'll notice that from its little top there, we're only down 15%. And you mentioned all those I was mentioning those liquidations at 83, 84K. Well, look what 30% drawdown happens to be. Right at like that 85K level right there. So I wouldn't put it out of the question to see Bitcoin come touch down there when it's done it multiple times in the past. 30% drawdowns. We say it's not unnormal for Bitcoin, unusual. And 1, 2, that'd be number 3. See what happens.
See what happens. Okay, cool. Let me back the screen. Let's talk about.
Figure out how, my friend.
It doesn't matter. Isaac can fix it. Just get rid of that. Let's talk about something that's very interesting, right? There's a lot of new guys interested in cryptocurrency. There's a lot of new guys that bucked the 125 to 126, right? I want to do something different in this video. I want to build with you guys and with you, Parker, and the guys there for something fun, like coins to maybe look at if that 90, 94K, 84K becomes that risk/reward. Now, before we even start, would you agree you want to do this, Parker? I think it'd be super interesting to like look at coins that people should look at. Obviously, non-financial advice. You guys do what you want because YouTube are very much hot on this channel. If the 84K, the 90K, the 94K happens, what coin should people look at that is worth the risk/reward, right? Because again, there's going to be a lot of people on this chat. We're already getting some right now. The 84K still doesn't make sense for them to buy one Bitcoin, even though long term it absolutely does, right? Because again, you have to look at Bitcoin for the long term, especially if you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, even 50s, okay? It should be just to accumulate sats. But I understand that most people, yeah, quant is going to be a long-term winner. You see, there are some quant fans still around, Parker, okay? Remember when
I used to have it. I get it.
Yeah, you get it. Remember when you and Bobby were shitting on XRP at 50 cents and then it 6x'd right in front of your eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be
I remember.
cute.
I remember early on in my journey, I was like really split between Link and Quant, and I went bigger on Quant than Link, and Link went crazy, and Quant has never moved still. And I so wish I'd played that differently. I would have had such a good head start to this market. But
you just got to wait.
Yeah,
you just got to wait. There's 14 million coins in circulation, so there's less supply than Bitcoin. You know, this guy doesn't understand maths, bro. But you're right.
They said diluted. There'll be no 84 or 90K Bitcoin. I mean, we're really close. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so let's have some fun with this, right? And then we can come back to chat, and then people can get on with their day because we want to bring some. There's just too many YouTubers panicking, right? Too many people are losing their shit, and we get it, right? If this is your first cycle, it's difficult, and if this is your first cycle buying at 125K. Solana 250, whatever it was, and all these other altcoins, and again, you're down 50-60%. It's tough, okay? But there's nothing else you can do bar sit there, sell, take the loss, or look to buy, you know, whatever you want to buy at potential lower dips. Because again, you can get average DCA prices. Isaac, you're so distracting, bro. Can you just stop moving, bro? Jesus Christ, this guy just moving so bad, bro. He's like fidgeting. I'm like, bro. You can get DCA prices lower, okay? Like you can get DCA prices lower. So again, a perfect example is my H-bar, right? My H-bar average is like 0.67, so less than 7 cents. But my biggest buy on H-bar was $37,000 at 14 cents. So I was absolutely cooked. Even though right now, I think H-bar, what price is H-bar right now? I think it is 17. So I'm still fine. I'm still in profit on that trade, but I got my average lower because 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cents. So we could have done a better buy. So again, if you bought in at the highs, okay, or the local highs of this run, you can get back in lower to give your average DCA lower. But again, it's all about building that diversified portfolio. So Parker, I want to chuck this to you. 84K, 90, it doesn't really matter right now. If this does happen, we have to expect some of these altcoins are going to be maybe down how much more percent? 30, 40, 50?
They'll be getting cooked, man.
They'll be getting cooked. But again, this is where you make it or you break it, right? This is where you decide. Because again, if you were just to ask yourself the question, if I could buy Bitcoin for $4,000 today or Bitcoin at 126, 400K tomorrow, e.g. down future cycles, what would you rather buy? Because most people are buying
Yeah.
at 125, 400K down the line, but nobody bought at 4K and held on. So something to keep in mind there, that, you know, you don't run to Walmart or the shops and you get excited about buying a $1,000 TV when you can buy it next week for $500. Okay? You'd rather buy the same TV at $500. You'd rather buy the same Bitcoin at less dollars. Okay? If the goal is to make money. If the goal is to lose money, fine. Let's talk about some coins, Barker. I know you're going to say the first one is going to be Sui. Sui's a great coin.
No, of course.
Sui's a great coin. Why is Sui a great coin? Number one, we like it because liquidity pools. We don't want to go too hard on liquidity pools. I know a lot of guys don't like liquidity pools, even though it's one of the best things to do right now if you can stay in range, but that doesn't matter. Sui's a great coin at $2. If Bitcoin goes to 1 or 90, 94, 84K, how low can Sui go? Less than 120? Less than 150?
Ooh, let's see. Like worst case? I mean, listen, dollar, like my chart's saying, hang on, let me pull it back up. My chart is saying you better be buying about right where we wick down to, like the 185 down to 160. That's where it's saying big buy zone. If we break through 160, it's possible you see like $1.15, but I wouldn't expect that. But I mean, it's possible. I wouldn't expect that.
Okay.
At 160, I'm comfortable big buying.
At 160, you're a big buyer.
Big buyer. We're already a big buyer.
Small everywhere else. Anyways,
bro, what?
I think the potential for Sui. Do you think the $10 Sui is still in play? Because right now, week by week, month by month, the $5 Sui doesn't look in play.
Yeah, we touched 5 and never went back. Exactly. I mean, the thing is, I don't need it to hit $10 to win. I need it to hit $10 to get the tattoo, which is fine with me. So if we hit 975, I'll be completely content because I don't have to get a tattoo and I make all the damn money. But I mean, breaking over 5, if we see like $6, $6.5, I'm gonna start taking heavy profits. If we even just go back up to 5 again, this time I'm gonna do better about taking profits on Sui because that's been my if I'm married to a coin, it's fucking Sui. I'll tell you what. So
yeah, we just got a super chat there, so I want to answer this one right now. Flare. Parker, do you know much about Flare?
I do not.
I don't actually. Is this the one that was tied to like XRP? Because there was. I'll give you something. There was a coin. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, we can't understand every single coin, but I remember in Celsius when the platform was going to shit, right? A lot of people were trying to do something with their XRP when you were, getting Alex Mashinsky to basically fuck you up the arse by giving you fake yield. People were crying about their Flare tokens. So Flare follows XRP. Does Flare follow XRP? You mean in price? Because Flare doesn't look like it's following XRP at all in price. Unless this is the wrong coin, but this just looks like it's continuous going down. Not that it can't do well, don't get me wrong.
I mean, there's lots of resistance around, what is that, like 1.2 pennies?
Ah, yes, it's the airdrop
so,
from XRP. Yeah, so I understand now. Yeah,
close,
so I remember exactly. There was like a airdrop XRP and like everybody in Celsius, at least what I can say, was crying to Alex Mashinsky because they never got the airdropped or something. So I remember that. So Flare is a way to get yield in XRP. Yeah, so if you guys want to run Flare and if it runs like XRP, it looks like it has little pumps up. So it is way less market cap than XRP. I would always say XLM is a nice hedge against XRP. It kind of like runs the same, at least in previous runs, etc. And especially when XRP went from like 50 cents to $3, XLM had a great runs. But if this runs even harder, which it should with a lower market cap, you could play that. But yeah, thank you for the super chat. We will get Bobby to look at Flare and maybe give you some more technical analysis on it. Let's move on. Give me another coin, Parker. A top coin that you would be interested in. Solana. 160 right now.
Oh, okay.
No, bro. Okay. Chill. We got to talk about Solana before we can start going down the line, bro. Because Solana is a big one, right? Solana was a big one for people in 2021. I remember I used to watch, and I don't know if he's still making YouTube videos, Invest Answers. Like, he was one of my go-to guys to watch when I had nothing to do in Glasgow. And it would just be me, my girlfriend, and we would just sit and watch Invest Answers. And Invest Answers was great. But unfortunately, like many YouTubers, including me, we got the cycle completely wrong. He was calling for Solana $500 in 2021, and everybody was going heavy on his live streams at like 175, 225. The peak would ultimately come, and we would all lose our shit. So Solana has been interesting for that. That is one of just the peak moments I remember when I think about Solana. I think of James from Invest Answers. So hopefully he's still going strong. But I just remember everybody was Solana daft in his group, which was fine to do so. Solana was one of the craziest coins to run in 2020 and 2021. But it also lost people a lot of money in 2021 to 2022, because if you bought at 225 or 250, whenever the peak was, 6 months down the line, you were at $9. So you basically lost everything if you sold and if you didn't hold on. So you basically lost absolutely everything. It was pretty much the same as Luna, but obviously Luna never came back because a lot of people, again, at 220, 250, whatever, they couldn't take it anymore and they sold at $10, $15. So it was basically the same thing. You lost everything. But for the guys that held on, you're pretty much back level-ish, but you're still less than 2021. So Solana, Parker, what do you think? Bitcoin goes to 90, 94K. Anybody else in the chat as well? James is going strong.
Such a love-hate with Solana. Big bags of Solana. I love it. Dude, I managed my DeFi portfolio and stuff like, 3 or 4 days ago, just to do like the end of month closeout or whatever. And Solana was only 195 and it's down to 160. What happened? Love this coin. Been through thick and thin with it. I mean, it's something that I buy long-term. I still like. It's something that I wouldn't buy if you're not going to take the extra couple seconds to learn how to stake your coins, because Solana has really high inflation natively. So if you're not going to take the 10, 20 minutes to educate yourself on that, how to avoid it, and then make that extra 7, 8% a year on it, then I wouldn't buy it. Because it has high inflation. You just got to know how to avoid it.
The way I look at Solana, guys, is like, again, if Bitcoin's too expensive for you, although it's not going to be down the line, but we get it. For the guys out there that are just, making okay money and surviving, Bitcoin doesn't make much sense. Ethereum doesn't make much sense, but then you start to come down the line. It's interesting now, the XRP, I mean, technically XRP is number 3 for me in market cap. We don't count Tether. But Solana is almost getting dethroned. I'm pretty sure Solana was ahead of BNB at one point. Pretty sure it had to have been. And BNB's had a strong cycle. It was at 1.1 not too long ago. Now it's at 950. Again, it's kind of still holding up. Solana is an interesting one. It's like, in my opinion, the best pool for Solana, we can talk about that in a second. In my opinion, the thing with Solana is like you're going to take a risk, but you're not going to go too risky. This would be a good coin for you to, still make money, okay, if it does well, but not require like no amount of gains. Like Bitcoin, if it goes to 140, 150K this cycle, and we still get that cycle, if you're coming in with like 2, 5, 10K, yeah, you'll make money, but it's like, I think you have better returns on Solana. Sui, like we just talked about. So these are our blue chip altcoins that we always talk about. They're stuff that should do well, still should be around, even though Sui is its first bull run, right? So Sui hasn't had a 2021 bull run, right? So Sui is still fairly new, but it's big enough now where it's probably going to survive this cycle, okay? And it's already done great. So again, just all that to say is Solana is one of those coins that you can be safe on that will give you more returns than Bitcoin. That's the way I look at it. And if you want to go for it, great. If you don't, you come down the line that we're going to talk about in a second. Real quick question there. Best pool, Parker, for Solana. I mean, it's got to be Orca, right?
Oh, best decks? Yeah, Orca, Radium. You can hop on DeFi too if you want to.
Yeah, again, we don't want to talk about DeFi too much because everybody cries when we talk about DeFi because, they think we're trying to sell you something. And we are. Let's be honest. We're trying to give people the best product in times like this to make money. But again, we'll give you this for free. Orica, Solana USDC. If you don't like Solana USDC and you want Solana render, asset to asset, I'm not going to waste too much time on this because everybody cries when we show this. You find a range that suits you. The good news is right now, there's so much volatility where you can make a bunch of fees. The bad news is right now, if you don't know how to stay in range, you're going to be sold to one asset. Again, you don't lose anything, but again, to answer your question real quick, Orica is one of the best platforms we use. Again, Solana USDC or Solana render. Goodbye. Next coin, Parker.
I'm seeing Arrow in chat. Are you going to do it?
Arrow's too low right now. We'll get to it. We've still got 23 minutes left on this stream, so we will get to Arrow. If you can remember Arrow, we will get to that one. But we have to talk
Avalanche.
about...
We didn't talk about Avalanche.
Avalanche is not ready yet. We're still going down the market caps. You're way too high.
On,
we have to talk about...
You're teasing me.
We have to talk about the elephant in the room, which is Cardano. Okay? This is a big one.
Oh, God.
This is a big one, right? Because it hasn't...
Where did Cardano go? Where's it at?
Exactly. It hasn't came close to its 2021 bull run. And this is a big one because I know so many people that were ADA fans and still are trying for ADA. I remember one time I was back in the UK. I was in JD gyms, and it was one of the gyms in Glasgow near East Kilbride. And this guy runs up to me and says, "You watching me on YouTube, whatever, right?" And I said, "Great, what's your portfolio?" He said, "Yeah, I'm 100% on ADA. It's been absolutely fucking terrible." And I was like, Yeah. 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 And this was the same time like HBAR was doing nothing as well. So I kind of felt the same thing, although I had Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, etc. And I was like, yeah, it's just not moving. And if we check the price today, since around about then, it's basically the same, maybe 1.5x up. But compared to other altcoins, in this sort of market cap, Solana, XRP, BNB, your coin, their AVAX. AVAX is struggling right now, but we'll talk about that in a second. ADA's done shit. It's done absolutely terrible. And I don't know why, because, you know, obviously Charles Hoskinson's a great guy. In 2021, he was posting a lot of YouTube videos, which I thought was super interesting. For, I don't want to say he's a billionaire, but he's probably up there with all the ADA that he has and all the secret money. He's up there with Vitalik for sure. What's he done wrong? What has happened to ADA this cycle? Not that it can't do well, but it's not came anywhere close to its 2021 bull run. And I know there's a lot of people on this stream that look at ADA and like, fuck, they should have bought something else. Is there a chance?
Chat's saying ADA still did a 5x. I don't know. It's just, it's one of those coins I used to hold some of, but you know, a lot of my thesis switched to more DeFi, like assets I can monetize and grow and actually use the ecosystems. And Cardano was one of those just chains of ecosystems I didn't find as friendly or even just captivating or exciting to do that. Between that and then as I was learning, Alex Becker kept telling me that if I bought Cardano, I was a cuck. So I was like, yeah, fuck that coin. So, you know, it gets a lot of hate, but it has performed well. If you're buying at the lows, it frequents. Let me put up on the chart real quick, just on my end. Just take a look.
Bro, remember when you tried to copy Alex Becker with your YouTube videos? Little bit.
Just because I wore the fur coat and you guys said that?
No, the fake accent.
Fur coat was fire.
Bit, bro. A little bit, bro. You
fake accent? What do you mean?
You pulled up with like guns on your stream, bro, back in the day. Come on, bro.
Hey, gotta experiment.
The good news is nobody's seen those streams because nobody watched you back then. So like they'll never
Those are like the unlisted videos in the school group though, right?
Yeah. Anyways, continue about ADA because it's an interesting one. Yeah. So 26 cents to 126x. You're right. So it has technically done a 5-6x build run, but what I'm really saying is compared to the 2020 run prices, etc. E.g., if you're one of the guys that Diamond held this at like $3 and you held it all the way back down, you're still at a massive loss. That's really what I meant. On you go.
No, I'm good. No, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, but last cycle ADA printed, so Parker has no fucking interest in ADA. And
there's just other options. What was that? 50 cents back to over $1 at a 2x. I mean, I'd rather buy AVAX at $15 and hold that for 30. You know, it's just like that's AVAX is a chain I actually use and monetize. There's activity on, just much more so. Just it's something I use day to day. Or as Cardano, I just don't have a need or you need to use it day to day. It's not in my DeFi investing thesis here, man.
All right, so we'll move to his coin because we might as well. So AVAX.
It's not my coin, bro.
I mean, it's a coin that you haven't shut up about for the last 15 minutes. So let's go to AVAX. Let's talk about.
I don't even have big AVAX bags.
But here's the thing with AVAX, right? We talk about, you know, Cardano not doing well to 2021. So I want to chuck this question back to you. Well, what the fuck's AVAX done? 125 was 21. We're now at 16.5. This is almost worse than ADA.
Chill, brother. That's why it's a great buying opportunity.
Well, couldn't ADA be the same?
No, it still hasn't. I mean, yeah, I'm just bullshit a little bit. It's just AVAX is something that I'm more interested in getting because I can actually monetize it and use it on chain. Whereas Cardano, it's not as friendly for the way I invest. Yeah. So for me, it's not attractive. But AVAX has some good opportunities on chain.
Yes, I'll show you guys real quick. Isaac, if you give me my screen, if you're interested in AVAX as a hodl thing has been great, but it's like, okay, you make a little bit of money here. In fact, you make a lot. Let's say you bought a $13 or so, you 3 or 4x to 59. But again, hodl investors, they've played this cycle like most of us have played this cycle, right? We're here for the end of 2025. That's what we hoped, right? So, you know, you bought in at $10, whatever, you're barely up at 16.4. So these pumps didn't matter unless you were, you know, taking profits, etc. But again, a lot of guys don't do this, right? And that's absolutely fine. Don't get me wrong. I've not done that in most of my coins. But if you had AVAX, we talked about this last stream again, for guys that have AVAX, again, you can do this. You can, like, you don't have to, we'll give you this for free. There's so many coins, blue chip coins that you can come into and get more AVAX. Because again, if you can get how many AVAX to go is not about dollar value here. If you have 100 AVAX and you can compound 200 AVAX, etc., just do the maths. That's a lot better for this bull run because you get more coins to sell for a dollar value that you might like, because 100 AVAX is still 100 AVAX, which is fine if we get back to those levels of 100. Okay, but imagine if you had 200, 300 AVAX. And again, accumulating this with Bitcoin, etc. There's so many good pools in AVAX. That's really why you wanted me to bring up AVAX, right? Because you're monetizing it in such a better way than you can on ADA.
Yeah, exactly. It's something I actually use day to day. I do quite like it. I think at this price, it's a really good entry. I really do. I mean, I don't see it going much lower. I mean, its all-time low is literally $9. So I think it's a good buying spot. Chat is hyping up AVAX just a little bit, talking about Warren Buffett's Japanese bank selecting AVAX, DMV of California choosing AVAX. So again, I'm not an AVAX super fan or anything, but I would be looking to pick up bags here. And I actually might pick up some pretty big bags right here, because I don't have a lot of AVAX at the moment.
Okay. We're getting close to the end of the stream, so we want to thank you guys for being here. We got 15, 16 minutes, but we have to talk about the elephant in the room, okay? Which is Hedera hash graph, okay? If we're being honest, this is probably one of the most guys on the list. It's been a roller coaster for me with Hedera. You as well, right? But you're not, you're out of the game with HBAR, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Before I give you some value on HBAR and why you just fucked up.
It's just the same thing. It's like, I've heard a lot of people say invest in what you know. And a lot of what I've started doing is looking for those layer ones and those layer twos where I'm actually doing DeFi. And that's a lot of what I invest in. So it's a lot of what I'm investing around. And that's just a lot more my thesis. HBAR is one of those ecosystems where there just wasn't the same opportunities in ecosystem, like actual volume and TVL. It just wasn't the same as other locations that have a lot more activity. So I was just going where the money's at.
So you don't like 3 cents entries and making a...
What is it, 17 right now?
Yeah, I'm talking about since the highs at like 37, 40 cents. So
I mean, that's not bad. That's some freaking gains right there, man.
Basically, HBAR is, for me at least, one of my...
That's actually pretty damn good.
It's pretty damn good, right? And you would have known about that if you were in HBAR.
Did you sell anything? You...
HBAR's been a difficult coin for me, but it's one of my second biggest altcoins in terms of portfolio profit. It was number one, obviously, when it was at this 37 cents or so, but it's been a roller coaster. It's been like that wife that never leaves you alone. You're trying to eat dinner, you're trying to work on YouTube, you're trying to think what you want to do with your portfolio, and she's nagging you to watch Netflix. It's been like that. And it's been like that for a lot of guys, and you know what I mean. It's been like that for a lot of guys. You've got the same story with Aero, and we can talk about Aero because that's the last coin we're going to want to do. You know exactly what I mean by that. HBAR has been one of those coins that has got so many people interested in. Again, one of my guys that I was talking about before, it's not Dean, it's another guy that starts with D, but I don't want to mention him because he actually never likes being mentioned on social media, but we'll just call him D. Basically, super interested at 30 cents, 35 cents. HBAR is going to do so well in the next 10 years. Not this cycle, 10 years. Messages me when HBAR starts to dip, like, you know, give or take, when was it? It was like the last month. Basically, here, panicking. It's not going to do well in the next 10 years. I'm like, bro, it's been a month. I literally, you know, on WhatsApp when you can like reply to somebody's chat, I replied to his chat. I just put a dot and exclamation mark. And he just said nothing. He just said absolutely nothing. So it's just funny how people's minds can change in a month when they were looking at a 10-year investment, not a 1-year investment, not a 2025, 2026 bull run investment, a 10-year investment. And they completely changed their mind in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, because HBAR's price went down so much. And again, every coin's went down so much. So again, it's just like this guy cannot be an investor. He should honestly just work at his little 9 to 5, maybe just buy the S&P 500, and maybe one day he can buy a house, because he's not going to make it in cryptocurrency if he's panicking, if he's selling, if the price goes down. Because what the fuck would he have done in the 2021, 2022 bear market, especially 2022? He would have lost his shit, bro. He would have lost his shit if he's losing his shit in a month. So again, you get in at the price you deserve. It doesn't matter what coin you buy at the end of the day. If the coin makes money and you get out, it's fine. So we talk about meme coins, etc., us not liking them. But if you made money and you got out, you're doing better than a HBAR investor that just bought the tops, sold the bottoms. You're doing way better. The coin is not important when you get emotional. It's absolutely not important at all. That's all I got on HBAR. It actually pisses me off. Because he had such great... because he's like an old school friend that was 2 years, 3 years above me in high school. And you know, he's only interested when the price is high. And again, it's like we talked about before with the cycles of people, retail investors come in. Thank you for $2 super chat. Wow, we're getting rich off these streams, bro. We're going to DCA. I think I've made $4. I'm going to buy literally 40 H bar, 10 H bar, whatever. Fuck. Thank you guys. Anyways, the point is, it's like the retail people that come in the 2021 cycle, and even in 2024 and 2025, right? You get the hordes of people, and he was the last horde of people in this cycle, right? Hairdressers, Uber drivers, Jeffries. That's where he was, and that's what he did to himself. So I don't know if he sold, I don't know if he rebought, but basically he can't handle this shit, and he doesn't deserve to make any money in cryptocurrency. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a buddy, same thing. He only came in at the top. So it's for every asset, whether it was Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Arrow, it didn't matter. He came in at almost the exact top every single time, and then he would sell at the bottoms.
Okay, I got it. We got 11 minutes left, so I've got to answer 2 super chats because they get priority, and then we've got to talk about Arrow. So we have 11 minutes left. So let me answer these 2 super chats, and you can chime in. Are you still out before $1 moving up? It's a difficult question. I've always said for me, with H-bar, if I bring this up on TradingView, fuck, bro. Every time I pull up any single coin, I see this wick. It actually pisses me off because it throws me off. I'm like, fuck, H-bar went to like 0.007. It never. Like, this is like a fake. You've seen that on most of your coins, right? That kind of like scam wick when that shit happened. It pisses me off because it's there. I've always said with H-bar, it'd be nice if we get the previous all-time high of 49 kind of sense to kind of look at taking initial 20%, and then you start to scale up at maybe 65, 75. But I still want to, it looks difficult right now. I'd give you a lot more confidence if we were back at, 41 cents, because right now I'm sounding like a moon boy. But basically, I'd like to leave maybe 20% as we get close to that $1, because you've already made your money at that point, once you get close to that. So that's what I would like to do. Right now, we're so far away, but, that it doesn't, what we've done before is where we could be. Again, it's just going to rely on Bitcoin's price. Bitcoin is, unfortunately right now, it still does control the market. There will be altcoins that will outrun Bitcoin, but right now, and it will be broken in my opinion, Bitcoin does control where altcoins go. That's just a reality. So yeah, I will be out before $1, but I will probably keep a little Jeffrey 20% mindset just as a what if, because you can sell on the way back down. You've already made your money back. Jake, chin up. I love H-bar too, but what the F is going on with Render? What's going on with Render, Parker?
Oh man, it's cooked, man.
Why?
I don't have a real answer for you, to be honest, on that.
Wait a minute.
What was it, like $1.75? No, it's back to $1.98. I know, because I replied to you in WhatsApp the other day. I found your message from, what was it, like back in April when you bought it $2.25, and I was like, nope, still waiting for whatever price. And it was like $1.75 yesterday.
I made a video. I made a video, I think, in 2023 at 50 cents. You can probably still find it on my YouTube channel, talking about how sad I was at missing Render at like 50, 60, 70 or so cents. We might get those prices again. The only difference is the confidence is kind of going to be at all-time zero if Render drops to that price. It's going to be difficult to buy that, even though you probably should if you still believe in Render, because it's going to bleed so hard. Why is it bleeding, Parker?
I bought a big bag at like $1.50. I wrote it to 12. I didn't sell a single dime of Render, and it's back to $1.90. Oh man, no. I mean, I don't know why it's bleeding. To be honest, I hadn't looked at my Render bag in a long time. It's in a ledger, just sitting there.
Yeah, it's worth a lot less today. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Again, Render's great, man. Their social media, they're always building on products. I don't know why the price and short. Again, it's just, you just look at these as opportunities if you like Render. This is opportunities if you like Render. So I don't think it's going to be one of those coins that fizzles away and die. It is a top AI coin right outside BitTensor Tau, which I've always preferred it against BitTensor Tau. But, again, are you going to be one of the guys that get in? Not that you should get in now, especially if it's falling right now, and especially if Bitcoin does go down, but these are, if Render does go well, money-making opportunities. Because, again, you don't make money on Render when it's at 12, 15, 20 down the line, maybe $100 down the line. Not today, tomorrow, guys. You get the point. There's no money left. So, again, we're here to make money, but you have to take risk with some of your portfolio. So, it's that's what I would say on Render. Yeah. So, we got 7 minutes, Parker. The coin that you and everybody else in this chat, we appreciate you guys, have been crying about is Arrow. Let's finish strong. I want a deep dive on Aero, like actually deep dive, not one word answers, bro. Aerodrome Finance. Current price today, what you've been doing with it, where it could go, and what somebody with non-financial advice, spiritual advice, would look at for investment on Aerodrome. I'll give you my quick hot take. I don't like Aero because it's a reward token, which means everybody on VFAT, etc., not that it can do bad, but everybody sells Aero. There's so much sell pressure on Aerodrome because everybody that plays the VFAT game, you get paid on Aero, okay, for some of the pools, and everybody fucking sells it, which is fine, but that's one of the reasons why I don't like Aero with the combination of the supply being infinity.
Yeah, that's completely fair, and that's definitely a big reason to understand this is a high-risk position. This is also a coin that I bought back in, early 24, but I bought it pretty high, between like $1.25 and $1.50, and I have rode that thing up, I've rode that thing down, pause, but I printed rewards the whole way using DeFi, and so I'm even though we're down from my initial buy price way back in the day, I am so net positive on this that this is probably a coin that I'm married to as well, but everything's risk-free in these positions. And I've been earning Aero for free down at the 30-cent mark. I've been earning it for free over $1. And I've systemized everything to where I know that all the Aero I earn over $1, I'm just taking it to cash. And anything below $1, I'm just stacking more and more Aero. So it's a very volatile, very stressful token if you're new to crypto here. And there's a lot of sell pressure. So when it goes down hard. It can go down fast. So it's something that, I'm playing around with, and but I'm also risk-free on, just to make that clear as well, because I made my initials back long, long ago in just fees.
Yeah, you've been monetizing this coin for a while, so that's how you've kind of stayed alive.
Yeah.
Because everybody's asking what your channel is. His channel is Parker Ray. Bro, you're actually getting people interested in your channel. You can thank me later. Parker Ray Crypto, right, is the name. Parker Ray what?
Yeah.
Parker Ray Crypto, you'll find him. Don't type in Parker Ray. If you type in Parker Ray, somebody do this for a laugh right now, you'll get a serial killer. If you type in Parker Ray, there's some old serial killer that kind of shoots him in the face. So his name is Parker Ray Crypto.
I typed in chat.
There you go. Yeah, we are funny. We try and be lighthearted in this. Everybody's too. When I used to watch these streams back in the day, they were nice. They were nice to lock in, and especially if it's your first time in cryptocurrency, you really try to take notes. We want to give you some value, but we also want to be the guys that are just normal guys, right? That are having a laugh, that are not afraid to swear on YouTube, that are not afraid to say what we feel. Like that's why we do these streams. If I can do this for the younger version of myself, it doesn't have to be age-wise. You could be older than me, 30, 35, 40, 50. You could be older than me, but what I really mean by that is a younger version of myself is somebody that is in cryptocurrency right now and doesn't know what the fuck to do. That's why we do these streams, and if we can just, give you some examples of how to stay calm, how to stay emotionless, that's all we can do. We can't tell you where the price is going to go tomorrow because, we don't know. At the end of the day, we don't know, but Bobby's been right until he has. We can give you Bobby's advice, so we'll try and get Bobby on next week. But yeah, that's why we do these streams. So Aerodrome Finance today, to sum this up, we have 3 minutes left or 4 minutes left. It's at 88 cents right now.
Lowest high risk, fun. I'm going to be honest. If I wasn't in this coin right now, I don't know if I'd buy it at 87 cents.
Yeah, because you've made so much fees on it as well, where it's a risk-free trade. That's what you have to keep in mind. Yeah. Again, there's pros and cons towards this. Number one, the biggest pro is, the market cap's less than $800 million. Has a lot of potential in growth. That's what we could say, right? The other positive, you can use this to get more Aerodrome Finance, and there are some full-range pools where you don't have to do anything. The cons for me is the max supply is infinity. I never really like that. And again, you have that massive sell pressure, which a lot of people, are you been selling your Aerodrome Finance? Have you been selling everything or 50%? What have you been doing?
No, I have it systemized. So whenever Aero is over $1, everything I make Aero-wise rewards, I sell immediately. And then so some of my pools that make Aero when it's under $1, I compound that back in. So I have everything systemized, and I don't have to think about it. So it's very, very passive. I will say one thing. You know what else has a limitless supply? The dollar, man. The fucking dollar.
You're right. You're right. Eventually, the dollar is going to zero. Like one of the cheat codes, and I know you want to come. We've got one more good question I want to answer. Remind me to answer Matthew Cox 5005, right? It's a great question. One of the cheat codes with like living in Thailand is even though the dollar and the GBP are eventually going to shit, it's like you get like 3 to 4x the purchasing power. If you earn in dollars, if you earn in GBP, it's like the Thai baht is just so weak, so like you can almost like 3x, 4x your lifestyle. So that's another thing about the dollar and GBP. If you're earning in a stronger currency against like you know, a country you live in, it also makes it way easier to stay ahead as well. Plus, if you have a good bull run and you're earning fees on liquidity pools, you take that for dollar value and you get to also spend in Thai baht. So that's another positive as well. Great question here. We've got 2 minutes left.
February?
Masterclass February. Parker, last question. Great question. What coin would you buy out of all this mentioned to use in DeFi if you only had 5K? Again, that's something we can touch on down the line. It's such a hard question because we don't want to give you coins, but what we can tell you is AVAX pools pay good against Bitcoin. Even XRP pools are somewhat paying good now. You've got obviously stablecoin pools if you don't want to buy a coin, you just want to get your feet wet with it. Solana, Render, which is obviously having a big beating right now, but again, you can use it as an advantage or a disadvantage if you want to accumulate cheap Render, if you still believe in it. I mean, there's so many Ethereum pools, wrapped Ethereum pools with base chain, etc. There's so many pools, right? There's so many options you could go down. It would be good, again, what we always say, we've got 1 minute left. If you had a portfolio already, Matthew Cox, that's what I would ask yourself. If you had coins, that's what I would look at to try and find those coins and then monetize it. Because if you don't have any coins, you need to get in cryptocurrency first. You need to know what you believe in first to then decide what you want to monetize on. So the coins that we gave you here, the kind of top coins that are somewhat safe, you could look at those first and you can monetize pretty much all of them. It's not about the 5K. It's not about that. It's about getting started. Getting started is way more important because you can make more than the guy with 500K if you're emotional. You can just completely lose your shit. If you have 5K, you can slowly chip away and have a great time. All right, Isaac, let's end this. It's been a great stream, guys. We appreciate you all. Thank you to Supercharts, Thank you, Parker Ray. Check out his channel. And we'll see you same time next week. GG, Parker.
Sweet. See you, boys. GG.
GG.